We're just 74 days away from the presidential and parliamentary elections. Hello and welcome to Joy News Prime. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, all social media platforms, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. In our headlines this hour, Accra Circuit Court remands dozens of Fix the Country protesters who hit the street to demand an end to Galamsey until 8th October after the police charged them with unlawful assembly. We'll take you to the court on a day. Organizers of the protest have been accusing the police of abusing the rights of the protesters who were arrested.
Where the police is intentionally abusing the human rights of these persons for no reason.
Also, Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey calls out the National House of Chiefs over what it describes as contradictory posture on the fight against Galamsey, as it calls on the traditional leaders to declare their stance on the matter. Details: a civil society movement against illegal mining piled more pressure on government to ban small-scale mining, with protesters at various intersections carrying placards to heighten awareness. And retired Supreme Court judge dissents heavily on the Electoral Commission over its refusal to allow a forensic audit of the voters' register, as has been demanded by the NDC.
That is their power. So if that is not manifestly shown, they are not actually acting within their constitutional power.
We have details of this raging controversy, with the NDC claiming to have uncovered more evidence that points to the EC having engaged in more illegalities in its handling of the voters' register.
When it is us unearthing and you admitting, how on earth should we trust that the more we bring, you are going to be dealing with all of them?
Now, 21 demonstrators of the Stop Galamsey Now protest have been remanded into prison custody, while 18 of them have been remanded into police custody after appearing before the Accra Circuit Court on charges related to their participation in the anti-illegal mining demonstration. A bench warrant has been issued for one of them, who the police say was released on inquiry bail and failed to appear in court today. Kenneth Jesse was in court and reports.
Well, the building behind me is where about 39 of the protesters of the Stop Galamsey Now were remanded into prison and police custody. Now, about 21 of them were remanded into prison custody, while 18 were remanded into police custody. Now, there's one who a bench warrant has been issued for her arrest because, according to the police, when she was bailed, the condition was that she appears before the court, which she failed to do. Well, one of the lawyers for some of the accused persons did indicate his displeasure with the ruling and vowed to appeal.
2 weeks, but we are going to repeat the appeal again. We are going to appeal against it at the Human Rights Court, and we are sure that within some days we will have them released. Yes, that's because we were given limited time to have conference with our clients. So I'm sure with this, knowing where exactly they are right now, we are going to get their instructions and repeat the application again, and I'm sure it will be granted. We are not satisfied because the main person why I'm here is Felicity Nelson, and she has not been brought to the court. So we have to look for where exactly she is, and I'm sure at the coming days, if we can't find her, we will bring habeas corpus application at the court to get her to be brought to the court. 19 of them have been taken, and 12 of them, their plea have been deferred to the next agenda date, because we raised the concern that they have not been served with the charge sheet. They only surprised us with the charge sheet at the courtroom. So we raised the same point, and the judge agreed with us and adjourned the matter for their plea to be taken. We are only disappointed at the number of days that they have been remanded, and some remanded into prison custody, which is clearly not befitting of people who are protesting for Galamsey.
There were a flurry of emotions when this judgment was passed. And even before this judgment was passed, when most of these protesters were being brought here to this premises, they shouted that they were innocent. Some called on the authorities to do something, saying that we should emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. Lead convener of Democracy Hub, Oliver Bakavomowo, is also expected before the court tomorrow. We will definitely be here to bring you all the fallouts from that hearing as well. From the Accra Circuit Court in Accra, Kenneth Jesse for Joy News.
Now, earlier, a member of the legal team for the protesters, Prince Ganaku, had accused the police of seeking to have the protesters detained for a longer period at all cost.
Tell us which court you are going to take them to so that we can come and mount a defense for them. Even that one, they said that they won't tell us. So you have a situation where the police is intentionally abusing the human rights of these persons for no reason other than to punish them for having the audacity to demonstrate against the Galamsey menace that we are all facing in this country. In the hours after they said that they arrested 42, we saw on the internet that another 4 had been arrested. Well, we can estimate that about 46. Now, of that 46, we know the locations of a grand total of about anywhere between 13 to 15. We will have people monitoring the various police stations. So when we see where they are going, then we can hurriedly go and mount a defense and an application for bail for them. Because everything that the police is doing is as though they intend to keep them there by a rough tactic. We have received informal responses from the Deputy Regional Commander of the police in Accra to the extent that if we are looking for the people, we should go and roam the whole of Accra. And if we find them, fine. If we don't find them, fine. As a matter of fact, we sent some of our lawyers to go around the various police stations. And when you go, you can clearly see the protesters there and they tell you that, oh, there's nobody there. Or in the best case scenario, where they are being very charitable, they will tell you that there's an order from above that they shouldn't, let you access, the council, access the person who has been arrested and detained.
Now, in the last few hours, we have received statement from Democracy Hub, which organized the protest, alleging abuse of due process by the police. Now, they say that if you look at all the things that is happening around this protest, the police is determined to teach the police a lesson. We'll bring you details of that particular statement shortly. Let me share with you what they do say. Now, the Democracy Hub has received alarming information regarding the status of protesters detained during recent #Stop Galamsey Now demonstrations. Now, they say that we are compelled to share the following urgent update with the press and the public. Now, they continue to then say that they have listened to their people in the who were arrested, and there's a lot that they can share with us. They talk about relocation of detainees. It says, as of 10 a.m. morning on Tuesday, they had learned that protesters who were forcibly taken into custody by the Ghana Police Service have been moved from various stations to the police headquarters in Osu. So that is what their statement was talking about. Again, they then cite inhumane treatment. According to them, the detained individuals have been separated into groups of 10 and placed in buses. They are currently being held without any official communication regarding the reasons for the arrest, and that's what they describe as inhumane, because you need to let them understand why they're being held. And then they talk about, most alarmingly, these citizens are being denied access to their legal representatives, a clear violation of their fundamental human rights. That's according to the Hub. Then they make a call to the media. That quote, we urgently call upon all media outlets to dispatch reporters to the National Police Headquarters immediately. They say that given the track record of police impunity and the apparent complicity of the state's justice system, we cannot trust that the rights and safety of these individuals will be respected without public scrutiny. So that is what the Democracy Hub was putting out, or put out the morning of Tuesday. Now, they then say that, quote, this situation underscores our deep-seated concerns about the abuse of power by law enforcement and the erosion of citizens' rights to peaceful protest and due process. Democracy Hub reiterates its commitment to transparency, justice, and the protection of civil liberties. We stand firm in our demand for the immediate release of all detained protesters and for full accountability for these actions. That's their statement, according to that was released by Democracy Hub on Tuesday. Now, lawyers for protest defense, which were, a legal team that is defending these protesters, are joining us for a discussion on this. We will be doing much more on this one. We have Prince Ganako. Prince, grateful to you for joining us now. We understand that majority of your members who were presented in court today have been remanded. Your reaction?
Well, the decision it comes as a surprise, to be very honest. Especially given there's among lawyers where we are not often surprised by outcomes in court. You make your arguments and then you expect a certain outcome, but you also keep in mind that it can always go the other way, especially when the lawyers on the other side have put a certain level of diligence in their arguments. So you know that it can be 50-50, it can be 60-40.
Okay.
If you look at the arguments that were made in court today, it was always, you wouldn't expect the decision that came. If you look at the circumstances, if you look at what the law is, and you look at the arguments that were made in court today, in both courtrooms, undoubtedly the decision comes as a surprise. Okay. I was surprised if anyone thought that this was the predictable outcome based on the state of the law and the nature of the arguments that were made in court today. But what can you do? You can only follow due process. So tomorrow we are going to refile the bail application, and we hope that we will get judges who are more sympathetic to our arguments.
You want to apply for bail for all of them, or for those who were remanded
Absolutely.
today?
No, we are going to apply for bail for the people that were remanded, because today we had two different applications in two different courts, Circuit Court 6 and Circuit Court 10. And those are the people that were remanded. So we are going to, the procedure is that you refile the application at the High Court. So we are going to refile the application at the High Court.
Okay. We understand Bakavomo will be in court tomorrow. What's the strategy?
We haven't been told that Oliver will be in court, but it is under the law. They have a maximum of 48 hours to hold him. And the posture of the police has been that they are going to use every avenue to frustrate, torture, and otherwise, humiliate and break down the protesters for what I presume they believe to be a slight against their collective ego. So they are going to mark out the 48 hours. I don't expect him to be in court in the morning. I expect him to be in court at the latest possible time that we can bring him to the court. Oliver's lawyers will be there. I expect that Justice Shansai, our senior, is going to be the one to make the bail application. Okay. And given what we have seen today, it almost seems like we can predict what is going to happen. Given what we have seen today, and given the inferences that I am personally unable to publicly draw, but I am drawing silently in my mind, I am able to predict what the outcome of tomorrow is going to be. So it seems like they are in for a long ride. The power structure in this country is intent on showing everybody where power lies. So that's how it happens.
Grateful to you, Prince, for joining us here. Now, let's still stay on Galamsey issues, because the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey has called out the National House of Chiefs over what the group describes as the House of Chiefs' contradictory position on the fight against Galamsey. Now, President of the National House of Chiefs, Ojiaho Hoya Ojibe II, came under public criticisms last week when he dismissed calls for a total ban on mining activities in Ghana, advocating instead for stronger regulations to ensure responsible mining. His statement comes at a time when pressure is mounting on the government to address illegal mining, commonly known as Galamsey, which is causing widespread destruction of water bodies and forests. The latest to condemn his statement is the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, and they have issued a statement on that. And my colleague James Aveji joins via Zoom with details of that statement. James, what exactly is the coalition saying?
Says it has taken note with utmost disappointment the position of the National House of Chiefs as conveyed through its president. They say even prompt to the president's statement on the issue, the National House of Chiefs has been silent on the press calls for government to fight the illegal mining. This they consider a worrying situation, considering the fact that chiefs are custodians of our lands, and the coalition actually thinking that the chiefs should have taken center stage in this fight without even anyone inviting them into the fight. They say that the position of the chiefs, if is the case as conveyed by the president, constitutes, disappointment and a varying position on the issue, because in a statement issued on the 6th of February this year, they indicated that they do not support the illegal mining. They have had a meeting and constituted a committee to actually deal with the issue. And so they think that this is in contravention with their initial position taken on the matter, Brace.
Okay. And the group is making a call?
They want the National House of Chiefs, if this is not their stance on the issue, to declare officially what their stance is on the matter and call on them to forcefully join the call for the utmost ban on illegal mining across the country. This is the call the coalition is making to the National House of Chiefs in that statement.
All right. Let's bring in Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe. He is convener for the coalition against Galamsey, and he joins us now. Doc, I'm grateful to you. Now, it's been 24 hours since you issued the statement. Have you had any response yet?
Well, the statement was actually issued almost at midnight yesterday.
Okay.
So I'm sure we're coming to 24 hours.
Okay.
But there's no response from the fact there's been a massive media coverage of the particular statement. I think the first media house to do that was my Online early this morning when the story was posted.
And how long are you willing to wait for a response? And what if you don't get one?
Well, we hope that the House of Chiefs will do the needful. The interesting thing is that the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining is a coalition of coalitions and networks. And one of the blocks that we have in the traditional leadership bloc. So we are hoping that we would hear from them, because our revered chiefs are the custodians of most of these lands and the sacred goods which are also being desecrated. And already we have seen some of our chiefs. Otumfo has shown great leadership. There is an old chief in the town, I think it's Jema. He's a frail old man who is even not well. He's been enticed by close to 1 million cedis. He's rejected it. And with his people, they are managing, and they are fighting the Galamsey, threat in their areas. There's also a queen mother in the town. I've forgotten the name of the town, but they have a river there called Isupone.
Okay.
That river, just because this queen mother and her people have decided that they are not going to permit Galamsey in there, the water is clean. You remember that, I think it was on your station, there was, Honorable Apia Kubi. I think he is the MP in the Agogo area. He, with his king, Nana Costa, they first felt singing. So, they owe it all of us themselves, to show the context of them. The issue that men were one of them were asking for was special courts that were set up to speedily try cases, just as the labor is supposed to act. Well, they also added that wanted on some of the courts. So we now look at the site, was not as bad. Now that we are expecting them to galvanize the whole country around themselves to be able to get ourselves on top of this kind of societal consequences for us.
Okay. Now, on your fight generally, are you still waiting for the end of the month for the ultimatum for government to act, or you intend, fast-tracking issues?
Well, as I said, labor is one of the blocks that we have in the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, working together with you, the media. And so you know that it started off with the Ghana Medical Association, given that ultimatum. Then UTAG also followed through, and then organized labor took that. And because of the fact that being an organized labor, we are working towards that last night. And so we are keen to find out what labor is doing. But also,
Unfortunately, the line is not helping us, but that is Dr. Ken Shibe. Let's still stay on this subject. You might have come across some persons clad in red, holding placards with varied inscriptions at various intersections across the capital today. That is another form of protest initiated by the civil society movement against illegal mining, who are also piling more pressure on government to take decisive action against the Galamsey menace. My colleague Suti Abochi spoke to some of them.
World River Day, which is celebrated on the 4th week of every month in September, a group of CSOs spearheaded by Arusha, Ghana, are picketing at various vantage points here in Accra to drum home the message of the menace of illegal mining activities and the effects on our water bodies and rivers. I'm here with a group picketing right now at the Fiesta Royale, and we want to understand what their concerns really are. I mean, we all know that Ghana Water Company Limited is lamenting that they are unable to supply water and all that. But let's hear from them. They are out here this morning, picketing, trying to send a message across. Let me start with you, Grace. Thank you so much. I see the placards are sending home, drumming the messages that repeal LI 24262, which is the LI that allows for mining in forest reserves. But really, situate the situation for me on why you are here this morning.
Okay. So we are gathered here. We're just here to speak for our rivers. So Sunday marked World Rivers Day. It's held, I think it's held on the 4th Sunday of September, in September. Yes, we couldn't hold our stand-up activity on Sunday, so we decided to do it today. So we can all see what's happening with our rivers. And we are devastated, we are sad, we are worried. Not just about today, but about tomorrow. We're wondering what are our children going to drink someday if this issue of Galamsey is not, nipped now. Yeah, so that is why we are here.
I feel like people have detached themselves from the issue. I want everyone to know that it will affect you one way or the other. So in any way you can, whether it's advocacy on your social media, whether it's pushing for policy reformation, whatever you can do, it does not matter your age. One day, when the tap turns, there will be no water. That's my message to everyone. Especially,
I see you're holding a sample of some of the polluted water.
Yes, yes.
So let me speak to a gentleman among you. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing right now. We've had a lot of CSOs, Ghana Medical Association, even even Chambers, talk about how we need to ban illegal mining activities and small-scale mining activities so that we do a reassessment of this menace that is eating at the very fiber of this country. What do you think that they're doing enough? Is that the reason you're out here also adding your voice to it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So for me, I think we need to push on more of this advocacy that we are doing. And kudos to everyone that has added his or her voice, the religious bodies, the CSOs, as you mentioned. Like, everybody is trying to send a message across that there should be a halt.
Dario Bosu is Deputy National Director of Arusha, Ghana, and joins us now. Dario, so we see this as a new way of protesting. How long is this going to be? First of all, did you achieve your target for today?
Good evening, my brother, and thank you for having me. I think, yes, you say new way, but the churches have been using it. The politicians, the parties have been using it, so we decided to do the same, to learn from them. And I think it's been a strategy we have been deploying. Yes, I would say this might be the end of our celebration for World Rivers Day, but I think we continue because we are still working to sustain the momentum that has been generated by all the various organizations across the country, the professional bodies, the religious groups, and organized labor. We are committed to supporting their actions all through. Civil society is also mobilizing, and I believe that if you can have a lot of organizations stage their own kind of protests and campaigns, we are going to succeed in piling sufficient pressure for action from government.
So you expect more people to join in?
Yes, we expect more people. And tomorrow there's also a dialogue, a thought leadership dialogue looking at Galamsey issue. And I know we are going to delve into these issues again, and we are going to hear what citizens want to see their government will do. Okay. Because frankly, from where we see things now, it is only government that can change the tide of what is happening.
Okay, all right.
Everything, if you go to the communities everywhere, it is the government that will bring about the change. Okay. Not the people, not us. But the way it will happen is when we keep on drumming the issue.
Darren, I'm grateful to you for joining. Now,
Thank
away
you
from
so
that,
much. Thank you.
The Public Sector Workers Union has issued a 6-day ultimatum to government to heed to the demands of the striking staff of the National Commission for Civic Education over stalled negotiations with regards to their poor working conditions. The workers of NCC accuse the Commission of negotiating in bad faith and using delay tactics in their quest for better working conditions. The union has now thrown its weight behind NCCA. We'll bring you more on this after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back from the break. Now let's do election headquarters, which is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, also by the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, also by the Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. And the retired Justice of the Supreme Court, William Atuguba, has descended heavily on the Electoral Commission over its refusal to allow a forensic audit of the voters' register. The opposition NDC has been demanding the audit after the EC admitted some of its officials illegally transferred votes. In the wake of that admission, the NDC has claimed to have uncovered even more discrepancies that requires that such an audit is undertaken before the crucial 2024 elections. Speaking in an interview with my colleague Elton Brobe, Justice Atuguba, who presided over the Supreme Court during the 2012 election petition, insisted that allowing an audit will not constitute an interference in the job of the EC.
To be sure that the matters have been really addressed, you know, they have to let the people see in what way they've addressed them. Okay. You see, look, that's just one Article 51. The Electoral Commission shall, by constitutional instrument, make regulations for the effective performance of its functions under this Constitution. So that's their duty, to make the regulation to achieve effective performance. Not just exercise power, but for the effective obtention of the object of the power. That is their power. So if that is not manifestly shown, they are not actually acting within their constitutional power. That's the trouble with Africa. We just love power, we just look at it, and want to, I'm the one in charge, and that's it. That's not constitutionalism. That is not it. And unless we get out of that and say that the law is not any private person's property, it is the most public and most binding system of doing things. Everybody is under that. Lest we get that done, people feel just too powerful, and that's what happens.
Meanwhile, in the last 24 hours, the National Democratic Congress has been presenting its case to members of the diplomatic community, CSOs, and organized labor. According to the Director of Elections and IT of the NDC, Dr. Edward Omane Boama, they will not present any further evidence to the EC because the Commission has shown itself not trustworthy. According to the party, they stand ready to present even more evidence to the forensic audit team once the EC allows that.
So, when it is us unearthing and you admitting, how on earth should we trust that the more we bring, you are going to be dealing with all of them? That's one. And two, even when we expose, you try to come around and rationalize. We cannot trust the EC. GS, please, can we trust the EC? No. So if you don't trust the EC, we are justified. Their self-interest is so huge. Don't we know how they got to the commission? A whole group had to be sacked for them to be brought there. Isn't it in their best interest for the MPP that brought them in there to stay in office? Their self-interest is so huge.
Well, the NDC is also now claiming that the EC plans on using markers in place of indelible links during the election, a development the party says is unacceptable to them and will not allow. Now, President of the University of Ghana branch of UTAG and political scientist Professor Ransford Jampo is urging the NDC to try and soften its stance and meet the EC in the middle.
But you see, if you say forensic, it has a certain connotation that if you are wrong, you will not want to be led to that slaughterhouse. So can we vary the call a little in a manner that ensures that maybe we change the name, but we go on a certain exercise that brings about the unearthing of the challenges, and at the same time we all sit to dialogue on how we can resolve the challenge. Maybe that can help. So if you soften that forensic call a little, if it's not help, then my view is that maybe you consider that.
Now, away from that, the paramount chief of Abutia traditional area, Tobegan Abutia Kojo Gidi V, has advised the new patriotic party not to be complacent in its campaign activities ahead of the 2024 general elections. He entreated the party faithful to form a synergy and embark on a comprehensive campaign to maintain power, as his area stands to benefit enormously when the MPP is in power. Tobegan Gidi said this when the vice presidential candidate of the MPP, Matthew Opoku Prempeh, paid a courtesy call to him during the climax of his 25th anniversary celebration in Abutia.
Tobegan Abutia Kojo Gidi V asserted that his area has benefited enormously from the NPP's development agenda. He endorsed the candidature of Matthew Opoku Prempeh and entreated the NPP to work as a formidable unit towards securing victory in the 2024 general elections.
We have to work, move from house to house, tell people the good things that NPP is doing from house to house, as he did previously to bring the party to power. You do well to push the base to make sure that come December, victory is assured. It's like that's the truth that NPP has done a lot. And the stool of Abutia benefited a lot from MPP previously for the past 25 years, and we are very grateful. God willing, my prayer is that yes, you are sent to the office of the vice presidency, and I know. Because you are part and parcel, you are part of Abutia, you also remember us.
Addressing the anniversary Thanksgiving service of Tobegan Gidi, Mr. Prempeh pledged his unflinching commitment to the development of Abutia.
I can only wish him well. God give him wisdom, knowledge, patience, and understanding to make Abutia help make Abutia a bigger town than it is today. So good health and long life I wish for him. As for the speeches, it came yesterday. I just came to do my bit. And we will continue to support Abutia as far as we will be in government. And even when you are not in government, as far as my mother lives, this is my hometown. So we will continue to support Abutia.
A leading NPP member, Elizabeth Ohini, who reigns from Abutia, implored electorate in the area to vote for the NPP in show of gratitude for the development projects.
Has done more for Abutia than any other party. And that the only way you can return a little bit of the love that we have shown all the time is to vote for us.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Abutia.
A resident of Jetiase and Tadieso in the Central District have rejected the deployment of the district road improvement project DRIP equipment for the reshaping of their roads. They prefer asphalting since previous grading of the road yielded little impact. The 10-kilometer of roads are in deplorable state, negatively affecting socio-economic development in the communities. Naya Ojima was at a demonstration by residents of affected communities and has filed this report.
Upgrade of 2.5-kilometer road from Jetiase to Bonkron, which was awarded to MS Winman Ghana Limited, has halted for years. An office space built by the construction firm is abandoned, with some machinery left at the mercy of the weather. Drains and bridges constructed are being destroyed by erosion. The road have been left in poor shape, compelling residents to stage a protest. Leader of the demonstration, Prince Jumo, says efforts to get the contractors returned to site have proven futile.
I learned the road minister was going around for road inspection. So the contractor pretended as if he's working. He only came to do that so that the road minister will see that they are working. But as soon as the road minister brought his visitation to an end, they left. They left. So we are not going to vote. And we want to sound this caution to the District Assembly and government of Ghana in general that if we don't get our road fixed after the election, then the two communities shall resist officials from the District Assembly that come to our place to collect taxes. We are not going to pay any taxes.
Farming is the mainstay of residents in the area. Due to the poor roads, post-harvest losses are high as farmers are unable to cart their produce to the markets. The few traders among them have to pay higher prices to transport their goods to the city, increasing prices of produce.
Vehicles carrying my goods here get stuck every day. I have to plead with the young men to help me carry the load from the junction to the house. I am always begging people to help me carry my goods.
Residents, in showing their displeasure, marched from the community to the district capital to present a petition. The DCE, Kingsley Benjamin Kodia, invited the protesters to his residence where equipment for the DRIP are parked. The residents, however, rejected the proposal for the reshaping of the roads ahead of asphalt overlay. They have told me not to come reshape the road if we can't asphalt it. For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima, Jetiase.
This is Joy News Prime. We'll take a break here. We'll bring you showbiz, so please do stay.